Hi guys, good morning or good afternoon or good day wherever you're at. Today I want to talk about a topic that I haven't really talked about on this channel yet, but that I'm planning on doing in the future. My channel right now has been very oriented towards anxiety recovery and DPDR, but my true passion doesn't only lie in helping people with anxiety, but also with other issues or other struggles, or just talking about spirituality and self-development in general. So that's why I want to talk about one of my, I wouldn't say expertises, but one of the topics that I do feel are really confident talking about, which is relationships. I have had two kind of failed relationships in the past, two long failed relationships. Hi, this is editing me, and I just want to say that no relationship can ever be a failed relationship. I meant ended relationship in this sense. Okay, that's just something I wanted to add, which I think teach you the most about relationships in life. Because when our relationships end, we reflect a lot on why they went wrong. And when we take that reflection to really see what we did wrong and to not just point the finger towards the other person, you actually discover a lot about yourself, and you can also grow a lot in next relationships. So I am currently in a relationship that is going really well because of the things that I learned in the past, and I thought I'd share the most important insights that I got from this new relationships or from previous relationships. Um, that have really managed to make me be in a relationship where communication goes incredibly well, where fights are resolved from a place of love and we can actually grow from that, and where we don't keep getting stuck in the same patterns, because that's something very important, I think. So I'll just get right into why, like, what is the most important relationship advice I can ever give someone, and it goes in the in the way of resolving issues, because at the end of the day, why most relationships fail is because we fail to resolve a certain issue. We fail to, well, sometimes it's just because there's a lack of love or connection, but in terms of fighting or struggles that there are in a relationship, it is always about not being able to resolve one certain issue, or always getting back into the same cycle, same fights, or just not being able to talk fights through or to get to a common ground where there is love and peace. So, why do most people keep getting stuck? It's because, well, if we look at people as two onions, this is like the most important metaphor I ever learned. Well, in the core of the onion, the center, we are both the same. You and the other person, you're the same. You're in need of love, you're in need of acknowledgement, and you want understanding, because that's what we as human beings are truly craving. We want to feel like we are worthy, we want to feel like we are being understood. And then you have, because we are two completely different people and you have different circumstances in your life, you learn differently, you have different backgrounds, different upbringings, you start to form these layers around the core of being loved. For example, one person might have beliefs that come around that say, well, in order to be loved, I need to be heard. So I need to be able to say what I want to say. While the other person might say, well, in order for me to feel loved, I need to feel love. I really need to feel the hug and the connection. Someone needs to hold me. They're completely different communication styles or completely different aspects of what that person needs in order to feel loved. And all these layers go around it until we come to the last peel, which is like the most hard protective peel of the onion. The other ones are kind of more soft. But what happens when we get into a fight with our significant other, or just with people in our life in general? We tend to fight from the outside, which is the hard protective one, which is like the surface level of what the fight is about. So fight can be about something incredibly stupid, like very small, but because we are in this outer layer and we feel like we are not understood by each other because we are communicating in a different way. We are coming at each other from a different angle. We are just fighting, 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 and keep getting stuck at this outer layer of the onion, which is we both, in essence, don't feel understood because of, not because we don't want to understand the other person, or not because we don't want to love the other person, but because we simply don't feel understood, because the other person has different meanings and understandings of what it means to be appreciated and loved and understood than the other person. And that's why you keep fighting from the outer surface. And when we fight from the outer surface, what happens is, initially as human beings, when we feel attacked, our initial reaction is to defend ourselves. So the thing is, the moment that we come at each other from a negative emotion, that person automatically perceives that as a threat and will go into defense mode, which means that a lot of the time the fights aren't even really about that thing, that inner thing, that problem in itself. They are often about the fact that the people both don't feel understood, don't feel loved and appreciated, and feel attacked. So they are just defending themselves to each other the whole time. So that's why people keep getting stuck in this same cycle, because next time if there's an argument, well, it initially triggers that pattern of repeating the defense mode instead of actually wanting to go to the core of the onion with each other. So how do we change that? Well, the solution to every argument, to every problem in a relationship should always be to peel the onion and to go to the center together. To not say you are wrong because, but to say, why are you coming at me from this angle? Why are you feeling like this? So the purpose of any argument should never be to defend your outer peel to each other, because they are always different with everyone, but to go to the common center. So how do we do that practically? Well, I have a practical kind of example of how I would fix a discussion or argument. So say you are having an argument with your partner and it's one that can get ugly, that you have had in the past. Well, the initial thing to do is to recognize when you're getting into that pattern, to recognize when you are in that defense mode, when you are defending your own values and defending your self-worth and the wanting to be acknowledged. And the way you can always do that is just to recognize when you are feeling negative emotions towards the other person, just stop. Because from that point on, you are at the outer layer, you are fighting against each other, and you can't get to the common center without being in an emotion of love first and understanding first. So that's why the first thing you need to do is recognize these signals and just say stop. We're just going to take a break. I'm just going to go to this room. You're going to go into the other. Don't run away from each other. Don't say, I'm going away. We'll talk about it tomorrow. No, just take like 10 minutes of break to first of all cool down. Just let your emotions settle down a little bit. And then ask yourself to peel the layer of the other person. Just ask, where is he coming from? Why is he coming at me like this? Because you know in your heart that the person loves you. So you know they don't have bad intentions. You just need to see where these layers are coming from. Okay, sorry, I just had to switch positions because people are starting to work outside. So the second thing that you then need to do once you've cooled down is to get over your ego and go to the other person from a place of love. Because the moment the person feels loved, you're already at their center, because that's in essence the only thing that they're looking for in this discussion. They want to feel loved and understood. So the way I do this and we do this in our relationship is to, when we are having a fight and once we've kind of cooled down, one of both, and we kind of take turns in this, goes to the other person and just holds them and just tells them that they love them and they hold them. They get to that place of love. We see that we are speaking from the connection of the onion, the center of the onion first, and not the outer layer. And then when you're at that place of love, you can really, really communicate and then try to understand the outer layers of the other person, because then you're already at the center. So the goal of your argument is already achieved, to understand each other. And then you can actually, from a place of love, grow as a couple, grow as a person as well, by understanding where this person is coming from, what their weak spots are, why they are feeling triggered. And the next time you already know where they're coming from, because you have resolved that. So that's the most important relationship advice I could ever give you, I think. And maybe a quote that comes with that is a quote from Marianne Williamson that I use a lot, which is, ego says, once everything falls into place, I will find peace. But spirit says, once I find peace, everything falls into place. And this is the same way in relationships. We don't just wait until the issue is resolved in order to give the other person love. No, we give the other person love first, and then the problem will resolve itself. And this takes getting over our egos, but that's where personal development and everything else is for, to teach us that. So I want to thank you for listening to this video today. I hope you gained something from it. Let me know if you ever managed to resolve an issue because of it. It would mean the world to me to have you talk to me about it. So follow me on Instagram for daily tips and advice on spiritual growth and personal development. And if you need one-on-one coaching, you're always welcome to contact me through my website, which is in the description below. So I hope you have a very lovely day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!